I know the certainty of death. Mm-hmm. What I pray and hope for is I don't have a horrible time before it. It's not how long you live, it's how you feel all your working and health, active years. That's most important. We can't all guarantee that, but...
Yeah, I agree. I think, though, having an appreciation and even having that thought of a reflection that, yes, in an existential sense, we all know our days on Earth have a certain limit. But it's good to fully realize that each day, today, you woke up and today is a gift because of the uncertainty that we don't know when we'll no longer be here. So I wanted to ask you, because I think you have that awareness and you come to that place with an open heart and a wide perspective. Can you speak to being aware of the gift of life and blessings in life?
Yes. That's a challenging question, but one that I welcome. Because I realize that I'm speaking to other people, even now. And as we move around through our life, we know that, sadly, religion has become a subject that is kind of taboo, along with politics, in having discussions. So I find that I can fulfill what I do through my actions and my service and let them be inspiring as they will for others, whether it's through their own motivations. And to me, faith is not something that you have to have my faith for me to consider faith. I happen to be a cradle Catholic, and I live as a Catholic. I've had ups and downs in my faith through the years, through the busy years of life, but I've never lost it. And in fact, since my retirement, it has flourished. I have a more profound sense of it, because here's what happens. I ended up, as I was beginning to do service for my church and later outside of my church, to asking myself, why am I doing this? I know I want to, but what is my drive? It's not just because I want to write. My drive was more internal, and it was with the Spirit. So now I will speak frankly that I have come to have better connections with my spirituality and the presence of God in my life. And for many friends I have who are Protestant or Jewish or Sikh or of other faiths, those are the most that I encounter here in Southington and throughout my life. But I know the people who have deep faith and who seem to me to be motivated as I am through their faiths, through the same God, to do what they do. I don't for one moment harbor the notion that mine is the one and only way and the only right way. For me, it is the way, but for others, they have ways too. As for those with no faith at all and who consider God as irrelevant or going to church, my simple words to those people are to perhaps consider that if you're not doing that, what are you doing to evaluate your own purpose in life? Where do you go for that? Do you go to a counselor? Do you go to work, and are you fulfilled simply by your work and by the compensation, the money you earn and the things that you can buy? Those don't seem to me to be, when you come down to it, and I worked for all those things, as the final reward. I don't care how many suits you have or cars you have, there's always another one you can have that somebody else has. And in the end, they're not really that rewarding. It's a creature comforts. So I would argue that faith or religion or a church or a temple or whatever is a place where you can meet with other people of like feelings, where you have ministry serving you that open you to a more meditative life. And it's not just having the Spirit in your heart and your head, but I've learned to move with the Spirit, to do with it. The good news for me is that that is even more rewarding. That what I get back from God is more rewarding. Other people are motivated differently, as I said, and God bless them. God bless them all. We need every one of them. It's the ones I'm concerned with and I'm trying to reach. My target are the people who are so consumed with their daily lives, Little League and football and going out drinking and what have you, that they leave no space at all in their lives for thinking about what their lives are about. 3 years after I retired, around the year 1998 or 99, I started doing some volunteer work. That's where I first went to after church. Southington Care Center, which is a rehab and nursing home and assisted living. And then I went to Elam Park and did the same. And then we looked at other places as possible places for us to ultimately consider going to. To make this concise enough, I would say there are many reasons for going to a home. Certainly health, you need help. You don't need the big home you're in. And you're feeling kind of isolated in your home because you don't go out as much, you don't have the opportunities to get out as much, and you only have occasional visits from your children, who are very busy doing a lot of other things. Well, if that's your situation, where you're isolated or confined by health issues, you have a much greater opportunity for not just being taken care of, but having a social life in a good, in an outstanding facility, such as a couple that I mentioned just now, and there are others. We've considered Elam Park. We've considered the Malloy House in West Hartford, because these are places where they have so many opportunities and interests that you can continue to pursue. Meet people every day at lunch or dinner, if that's your path you want to take, and talk to them and remain involved in life. You can do things like I do in that kind of a place, writing, because I now have 19, almost 20 years of experience and research in this area that I can fall back on and sit back and write a book. But once again, there's the other thing people say: don't leave your home until you have to, because your home is your home, as long as it isn't confining your social life and limiting you.
That's great. That's a good barometer to measure against, because I think when you reach that point, those are the questions that seem most logical. Can I remain in the home? Can I function in the home? Is the home, should you need a wheelchair? Does the home allow for you to stay in the home? And so that makes the most sense that a person would ask themselves that question, and not just for the brick and mortar aspect. There's a lot more to it, in the sense of that you want to live your days to the fullest capacity that you can.
Right. And I should add one thing. It's not just that we downsized from a house, 4-bedroom house, to this condo, because of the fact that, first of all, there were increasing expenses for maintenance of a home, whereas here they're pretty well fixed. Not only that, your personal obligations and work, housework and so forth, it isn't gone, but they're diminished when you move into smaller quarters, and diminished further if you move into a community facility. Yeah. So that has to get taken into consideration, your financial circumstances, the workload on an older couple of maintaining a home, condos being another option, small condos, and the financial aspects.
In Southington, this community does seem to care quite a bit about its senior citizens, and I've never been into the Calendar House, so I wanted to ask, is that a good place for people to go have a social life?
Yes, it's a good place that was built, or that was started in an old home and then expanded about 30 years ago. This is a rough guess. But what we've come to grips with, the seniors who are active in the Calendar House in the past 2 or 3 years, and now more of us are on the Southington Town Senior Advisory Commission, working with the executive director and the town manager, that with the age of technology and the people who are now in their middle 50s, who don't even want to consider themselves seniors yet, or who were in their 40s that are coming up in the new world, the new technology of smartphones and PCs and so forth, that we need to rethink the services we offer and the facility that we have. Consequently, we went after a grant, that is a group of us in the Calendar House Membership Association, which I was been deeply involved in, and in the Senior Commission, along with the town manager and the executive director. What do we have to do to figure out what we should look like 5 to 10 to 20 years from now to serve a new senior population which will be larger than this one? Example, right now we represent, the seniors 55 and over represent some 14 or 15% of the population of Southington. By 2027, which is a little bit more than 10 years from now, they will represent about 30% of the population. That's a dramatic increase. Not only will there be more people, but their needs will be different. So this is why we went after and got a state grant of $200,000 to explore our needs professionally and to get an architectural result, an architectural concept of what we need, so we can go forward and get funding then to rebuild, add to, or start from scratch.
Well, that's great. That's very good to hear. I see that it's that kind of forward thinking that I think the people of Southington, whether they're approaching retirement age or not, should appreciate, because it shows that the community is concerned about all of its citizens, from grade school children through senior citizens, because everybody's needs are different, and the town has to account for that if we're all to live comfortably and appreciate the goings on in town.